Hello there, welcome to our channel of Relationships Redefined. I'm Nikki and I'm here to talk to you a little bit today, particularly about burnout. Relationships Redefined is an online psychotherapy practice based in California, which really tends to specialize with individuals, premarital couples, and couples of all types, helping to define what intimacy means to them, both through communication and behavior, and how to convey to get to understand both for yourself and with your romantic partners or any other relationships you might have, whether they be co-workers or family members. So today I really wanted to talk to you about burnout and really let you know that it can happen for a variety of reasons. It can be such things as easy as working too much, working late hours at work, taking on a lot of responsibilities that you didn't anticipate would be time consuming, not using time management skills, and really reaching a state of overwhelm or feeling really stressed. That can be a residual effect of burnout. But sometimes we can't really read the signs, if you may, and sometimes it goes unnoticed. I really want to give you some things to take note of what's going on and to give you 11 indicators that burnout actually might be very prevalent and in your life right now. And that's what today's video is. And then we'll do a follow-up video about 11 things that you can do to either prevent burnout or pull out from burnout, what you can do if you do reach burnout, things that you can actually do to get out of it or to prevent it in the future. So stay tuned for that as well. But this channel is all about helping you to define things in your relationship and for yourself and to get to know them better. So definitely follow along, subscribe, whatever you need to do to get those tips as we go along. Let's talk about those 11 signs, shall we? Let's start. All right, number 1, you have reached a state of exhaustion. A lot of people feel like they're quote unquote stuck, like they're in the slog, they don't know what to do, they have no energy to continue throughout the day. You might be finding that you need like kind of a caffeine spurt to continue working and to continue like just the normal pace that would otherwise be considered a normal day. You may be experiencing sleep deprivation. That's actually quite a big sign of the state of burnout being present in your life. So pay attention to that. Number 2, you might be changing your eating habits. Yes, we kind of forget sometimes, right? We have a tendency to do this, to see that there's like a defining line between the head and the body. And we forget that everything is in alignment and they are connected. As much as we can take care of our mental health, we also have to take care of our physical health, our exercise, and our healthy habits. So paying attention to your eating habits is one thing that you can really do to really determine what's really going on with you. When we talk about eating habits, pay attention to the time of day, pay attention to the emotional state that you're in, and really ask yourself, when you're eating, are you eating because you're hungry, or are you grabbing things from the pantry or the cupboard because you're feeling an emotion that's there? So are you emotionally eating, or are you actually eating because you're hungry? Pay attention to, are you even paying attention to what's going into your body, right? Being present with it. And you guys can look up a lot about mindful eating. There's tons on the internet. I'm sure YouTube has a lot of it too. Being very mindful of what's going into your body and how you feel in your body can also affect the mental health that you are experiencing as well. Number 3, you're having difficulty concentrating. Now, concentration is sometimes, hard when it's the end of your day anyway. But what we're talking about is you're having difficulty concentrating on tasks that it would normally be with ease and with grace that you'd be able to do them. So, an indication is like, I just can't focus. If that comes up for you, that is difficulty concentrate. I don't know, I can't focus on this for more than half an hour. I can only do small spurts of time. Those are really signs that you're reaching a state of overwhelm, and overwhelm can be a primary factor towards burnout. Number 4 would be a lack of productivity. If you feel like you're not even able to get through your to-do tasks, or your productivity is really, really getting affected, again, we don't have the ability to have this positive projection of productivity, productivity, productivity. I'm just going to keep pushing for long stretches and long periods of time. So when we do reach a state of burnout, our performance really takes a dive. So if you're experiencing poor performance and you don't feel like you're able to get things done, that can be an indicator. Number 6 is loss of enjoyment. And a perfect example of this is your habits, right? Your hobbies. Actually, more of your hobbies. So if your hobbies were once enjoyable, you enjoyed becoming creative, you enjoyed putting together PowerPoints, whatever it may be, is that things that were once enjoyable and brought great joy, whether it be socializing, whether it be doing things, whether it be creating things, no longer brings you any vigor or enjoyment in your life. And that can be a great source of how we constantly make sense of who we are, and that gives us a sense of purpose. Number 7 can be a feeling of hopelessness or helplessness. Like, I don't even know what to do or how to go about fixing this or changing this. I'm just gonna give up, right? Or it's a hopelessness feeling like, I don't know if I'll ever get done with my task list. I don't know if I'll ever get to the finish line because I'll just always have more things to do. And I feel like I'm hopeless or I'm helpless in being able to change that. So that can also be an indicator. Number 8 is decreased motivation, right? Your motivation is tied in with our ambition. If we feel like we can't actually continue our day and we can't go forward, or we're just feeling like, oh, we're really pushing through this. I needed 3 cups of coffee to get through this day, and I don't even know how to even take this by the reins or really get through this. I'm just gonna keep going. Sometimes that motivation, if it starts to decrease, is really taking note, like, how much are we really taking on and what are our priorities? Number 9, increased negative outlook. And by that I mean you have maybe a tendency to catastrophize or to draw to negative conclusions or negative assumptions. If you don't even want to approach your partner because you assume that whatever you say is going to be interpreted negatively, and we draw directly to that assumption immediately and we don't check in, we have a tendency to have a negative outlook. If you're catastrophizing and saying, no matter what I do, it's just never going to be enough, or it will never be acceptable, I just can't do enough, those things are increased negative outlook. It becomes increasingly difficult for you at this time to take a look at what is going right in your life, what is constantly motivating you to keep going forward. Sometimes even the small wins can make a big difference in how we feel about the progress that we're making. So if it's easier to identify with the negative than the positive, then take note of that. Number 10, we're almost there, don't worry, is if you feel isolated. You feel isolated, there's a buffer, you've put a bigger buffer between you and other people, or you feel like, God, am I the only person who's really struggling through this? Sometimes you might even feel like you're turning down social invitations to actually get together with people that you really identify with and you enjoy their company. Or you could also be turning to a very small group of social interaction of people or individuals that are supportive to you, but you might be playing it safe, right? And not really taking vulnerability and really having growth or motivation or expansion for yourself. And that can actually come in a formulation of procrastination. That motivation is replaced by procrastinating. So if you feel like you're procrastinating all the time and you're not really actually partaking, you can't get the process going, that's a big indicator too. And number 11, here we are. You've got a short wick. And by that, I mean you're easily frustrated, overwhelmed. You may feel, triggered. You may feel very easily irritated or really just easily flustered. You may not be taking criticism or feedback as easily as you normally would. It could be personalized. You feel like, am I really just doing all of this? Sometimes it may have been easier not to personalize it in the past. So it's really important to really identify what's going on, right? And look for these 11 signs. I really hope that this video is very helpful for you to identify that these are 11 signs that can be helpful in determining whether you've reached a state of burnout. Now, burnout can be also accompanied by overwhelm or great amounts of stress. There's a number and a variable of things that can contribute to that. So there's not only 11 signs, but these are the primary 11 signs that we do tend to see, at least I do in my practice and in my office when things come about. So I really want to do this video to help people to be able to identify for themselves if this is something that you're really going through. And stay tuned, because we're actually going to do another video about 11 things that you can do if you are in fact in burnout, and what you can do to get yourself out and to prevent it in the future. I'm Nikki, again from Relationships Redefined, where we really specialize. We're a psychotherapy online practice in California. We help individuals, premarital couples, and couples of all kinds determine what intimacy means to them, both through communication and through behavior. That includes couples therapy, individual therapy, sex therapy, and we provide all of those services to you in order to help you to have a greater understanding both for yourself and for your partnerships. That can be work partnerships, family partnerships, romantic partnerships, so whatever that may be. We look forward to giving you more information as we go along. Stay tuned. Again, stay tuned to this channel, subscribe, and really follow along, because we hope to give you many, many more tips in the future. Wishing you nothing but the best. Goodbye for now. Talk to you soon.